This is the far too late to matter walkthrough of Operation 8 Claw. What I've seen in the community is that the collection of the Arius is actually what is spent and not what is gathered, despite how it's worded. This is likely why the progress bar has been so sluggish throughout the entire event. Maybe D is going to implement something to push the community forward, as we are unlikely to meet the requirements to unlock all the signals. Maybe they'll let us fail though, who knows. Part of the problem is that once you get the handful of unique items and whatever arcanes a player is missing, there isn't really a lot here. There are no evergreen rewards, such as like Forma or Potatoes or Kuva to invest in, so players are probably just going to move on once they have whatever they need. Although, on the plus side, this event seems to really respect the player's time, as you can acquire whatever you need relatively easily. These signals though, I'm not sure I'll be using these. Maybe we'll get some frame in the future that fits with this theme, but they just kind of look weird to me. There's probably somebody out there who loves them, but it's just not me. This here is the major complaint for Deviri that I hear, this random selection of the frames and weapons. Now, I luck out here with multiple good choices for frames, but you can definitely run into some stinkers with this system occasionally. I don't find Deviri as restrictive as, say, EDA or ETA, as with 5 frames, a player is unlikely to only get bad and or frames they don't want to play exclusively. I suppose it could happen though. Yeah, I know. Phantasma is probably the play here, but I was concerned the boss wouldn't care about status, so I grabbed the comb instead. Since we're on a normal path though, it really shouldn't matter much. I spend a lot of time on decrees here, but they also don't really matter much. Your frame is going to handle this place easily enough on normal path, and probably still path.
Have you been hiding out here?
We get the mirror. This is where we simply kill a bunch of enemies and then use our reflection to find the chest. Easy enough, especially solo, as you don't have to kill many enemies. The next chest is simply kill a small group of enemies. This is another easy one. There are a few different missions here, but they are all relatively quick and designed to not waste much of your time, which is really cool. The third mission is the Undercroft. You get about 2 of these per run. If we're really lucky, we won't get into survival. The others can be completed very quickly, but survival is always 5 minutes, which in this case will be the slowest mission. Void Flood. Go collect the Vitaplast to fill up the Rupture. I haven't quite memorized all the places to find a Vitaplast, so maybe it takes me longer than it should otherwise. Technically, there are enemies present, but also this is normal path and I'm Protea, so they don't really matter. We can also see here an example of how slow the comb is, and I'd forgotten that part of it. This will only matter on the boss though, so hopefully I can get some decrees to speed that up. This one, groups of enemies will spawn, you'll kill them, they'll drop a canister and you pick it up. It's, again, pretty easy. As usual, more players will be more enemies, but solo you don't have much to deal with here. The fifth one is Oraxia. This is potentially dangerous as the bigger spiders can nullify you, making you potentially vulnerable. Oraxia herself though, relatively trivial on the normal path. Also, Protea is really good at dealing with the spiders. On Steel Path you might spend a little more time here. You just run up this tunnel and break all the boxes and collect all the loots. This is your reward after Oraxia, or one of your rewards. Here's another Undercroft mission before we get to the boss. I get unlucky and run into survival. This will be 5 minutes, so I'm just going to skip to the end of this as this is pretty boring, especially solo and on normal path. Boss time. Go to the arena and summon the boss. You'll have to defeat the Tide before they form into the Fragmented. After knocking out the first bar, the Flood and 2 Fragmented will appear. Shoot whichever one you want, or if you have a chaining weapon, shoot them both. Or an AoE weapon for that matter. With a better weapon, this will actually go much quicker, but since I have the comb, this is pretty slow. There is a Steel Path variant of this mission, and it gives slightly better rewards. In my opinion, in most cases, the Steel Path variant of events don't give enough rewards versus the increased time you'll spend in the mission having to deal with attenuation. So in general, if you're just farming this for Arius, I would do normal path. Unless you got like a really cool group, or you're just really good at Steel Path. Hooray! You've defeated Nessie, at least for the moment. Personally, I prefer to play in a group, but as you can see, it's plenty soloable if that's more your style. Also keep in mind, attenuation is worse with more players, especially on a Steel Path. I think Nessie makes for a cool villain here, even if we don't actually fight her and her dialogue seems pretty limited. Overall though, this is a cool little operation in addition to the game right here on the eve of TennoCon. If you somehow made it here, thanks for watching.